All right, we're going to get started here. Welcome, everyone. First off, I'd like to congratulate all of you on your selection to the 2022 Pure Insurance Championship. It's going to be a great week in Pebble Beach. I know Brandon and I are excited to go back again, and we are looking forward to seeing you all there. First, we're going to start out with some introductions. So I am Nicolette Scalf. I am one of the First Tee event staff that will be on site with you guys at Pebble Beach. Also joining us will be Brandon Luna, who is the Senior Director of Events for First Tee. And we also have a couple Monterey Peninsula Foundation staff members on the call with us, can help with any questions that we might have from their side. We're joined by Erin Wareham, the Sponsorship Manager for the Monterey Peninsula Foundation, and Kanie Honus, the Player Relationships Manager for the Monterey Peninsula Foundation. So welcome. Okay, so if there, a few housekeeping items to start out with. So this is a webinar, so you'll only get to stare at Brandon and I's beautiful faces for the next hour. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to use the chat feature. We may be answering some questions in real time, depending on what it is, but we will get to all the questions at the end. If we do not get to a specific question or do not have an answer to a specific question, we will get those to you later this week. All right, starting out. We're going to start with the tournament format. So the Pure Insurance Championship is 54 holes of best ball with a Champions Tour player. There'll be a cut to after 36 holes, and the top 12 boys and top 12 girls will make the cut to play on Sunday. So you'll each play around at Pebble Beach and then Spyglass, and then we will do a cut. The cut line for juniors is separate from the Champions Tour individual cut and has no effect on whether the junior makes the cut. This is something we've been asked before, so just remember the junior cut line and the Champions Tour cut line are two separate things. Yardages, I know you guys will ask. So at Pebble Beach, the boys will be playing just under 6,400 yards and the ladies will be playing just under 5,300 yards. And at Spyglass, the gentlemen will be playing just under 6,600 yards, and the ladies will be playing just under 5,300 yards as well. If you have any questions specific to the golf course, we may not know those until later, closer to the event. But I'm going to pass it over to Brandon to go over some travel things with you.
Thank you, Nicolette. And yes, congratulations, everyone. We're so excited to see you all here in what will be just a couple weeks. So I'm going to go ahead and go over some of the travel key points. I do want to reiterate that when everyone was selected, both the teams that are on the call, their parent guardian that may be on the call, and the chapter reps that may be on the call, all received the information I'm about to go through in the acceptance packet. So please, please, please take the time, if you have not done so, to really go through that thoroughly. A lot of the questions that you have will be answered within that packet, and we're just going to go over some of the key points today. So with travel, we're asking that everyone is in California, whether that's San Jose Airport, San Francisco Airport, or the Monterey Airport by 12 noon. Realistically, most people are going to fly into San Jose, and it's at least a 2 to 3 hour drive, depending on traffic, from San Jose, San Fran area to get to Pebble Beach. So we ask that everyone arrives by 12 noon again on September 20th. We do have orientation for both the teens and the chaperones at 5 p.m. As far as departures, you can depart at any time on the 26th of September. And again, that will be on Monday. All hotel, airfare, and rental car needs will need to be booked by either the chapter or the parent or guardian. We do provide, First Tee will provide a stipend. Again, the amount and the facilitation of that is in the acceptance packet, but we will provide a stipend to help and assist with all travel expenses. But again, all of that, the hotel, the airfare, and the rental car needs to be booked by either the chapter or the parent or guardian. That being said, I personally believe it is critical that you all have a conversation with your chapter leadership, just to make sure that they're in the know and they're aware. A lot of participants from your chapters have attended this event in previous years, and they may have some tips and ideas for you as you prepare to head out to Pebble Beach. So please definitely reach out to your local chapter leadership for that. Now, the hotel block. We do have a block for all of the teens and their chaperone. That link was sent in the acceptance packet. Now, the really important piece is that we have 78 teens playing in the event. We have 78 rooms. So it's only one room that's available per participant / chaperone. So please make that, please don't abuse that, because we would, hate to not have one of our participants not be able to stay at the same hotel that everyone is going to be at. So again, the hotel block information is in the acceptance packet along with the link, and we'll be staying at the Marriott Monterey. As I mentioned, we will be providing stipend checks to help with travel costs. That being said, the stipend checks will be sent directly to the First Tee chapter once everyone is confirmed on site. So once we know that everyone is on site, then we will submit those checks to our accounting team, and those will be reimbursed to the chapters. So going back to booking the hotel and the airfare and rental car, if your chapter books it for you, then they'll receive those stipends and not have to worry about sort of the reimbursement end. Now, if you purchase that individually, then you will have to directly speak with your local chapter to be reimbursed those funds. So again, the key piece of information is talk with your chapters before you book any travel, or if you've already booked travel, then please just make sure that they're aware and notified. Now I'm going to go into the chaperone guidelines. So for a chaperone, to be considered a chaperone at the Pure Insurance Championship, you must be a parent or guardian or an immediate family member over the age of 25 and have consent from the parent or guardian to be the chaperone for that week. The chaperone and the selected teen will be staying in the same room. So that's why it needs to be a parent guardian or an immediate family member, again, over the age of 25. Chaperones will not caddy or be allowed inside of the ropes during tournament rounds. Again, chaperones will not be able to caddy nor be inside the ropes during tournament rounds. The only access that you'll have inside the ropes is during the practice rounds at Spyglass. That being said, it is only for the one chaperone. So once you notify First Tee who that chaperone is, that will be your chaperone for the entire week. We do not want people switching information or switching their chaperone identification around. So again, whoever your chaperone will be that you notify our office will be your chaperone for the week, and that's the only person that would be allowed inside the ropes during the practice round at Spyglass. Now, we do understand that certain chapter representatives, obviously all of your chapters take great pride of you representing them at this event. Some chapters are able to make the trip out there. So to reward those chapters that do, if this would be the only time, but if the chapter representative attending if the teen would prefer the chapter rep to be inside of the ropes during the practice round at Spyglass, then we will allow that. But again, that's the only time that we will allow technically anyone outside of your chaperone sort of take that chaperone role. But again, any chapter rep, if the teen would prefer to have the chapter rep because maybe it's a coach that you work with frequently, they are allowed to be inside the ropes during the practice round at Spyglass, not at Pebble. The chaperones will have access to the practice facilities. And please note that the event, the tournament is free to attend. So as far as additional guests attending to watch and observe the tournament at Pebble, that is free to the general public. So we encourage, whether it's other family members to come out as well. But please note, I'm going to say it again, with the hotels, it's only one room per chaperone and teen. We have to make sure that we keep that consistent and that we're pretty strict with that, so that we can ensure that everyone minimally has a place to stay who will be participating at the Pure Insurance Championship. So with that, I know there was a lot of information. I appreciate the time. I'm going to turn it over back to Nicolette. Just a reminder, everything that we're going through is in the acceptance packet. So I know I'm being very repetitive now, but that is an intentional piece of information. Please make sure you're going through that and utilize the chat feature again on the Zoom call if you do have any questions while Nicolette and I are presenting. So thank you. Nicolette, I will turn it back to you.
Thank you, Brandon. All right, we're going to go over some on-site registration, some more credential information, and then some other questions that are commonly asked. So the chaperone will be the additional credentialed guest. Like Brandon said, you cannot switch credentials amongst family members or with chapter reps. Chaperones are going to receive an actual hard credential so we can keep track of you, and we know. Anyway, so the practice round times, practice rounds are assigned by the tournament staff. You do not sign up once you get on site. Those will be assigned and sent out to you. If your tour pro asks you to play a practice round with you, you are potentially forfeiting your practice round for that day on the opposite golf course. So what that means is if your Champions Tour player asked you to go play a practice round with him at Spyglass and you were assigned to play Pebble Beach that day, you may not be playing a practice round at Pebble Beach. Just keep that in mind for the tournament week. But again, if you accept that practice round with your tour pro, then you may not be playing a practice round at the other course, depending on timing. There are no caddies allowed at any time during Pure Insurance for juniors. That includes practice rounds. So that means if your chaperone is inside the ropes with you at Spyglass, they are not carrying your bag. You are carrying your own bag all week. And the same is true at Pebble Beach. There are no caddies at all during the week. Spectator carts are not available at either golf course. I know that's a big thing with junior golf tournaments. Unfortunately, that is spectator carts are not available at either golf course. During your tournament rounds, there are no range finders on the golf course. So juniors, you're going to have to go old school method. You might be stepping out yardages. And then yardage books are not guaranteed. We are very hopeful that we will have them, but they are not guaranteed. I would recommend bringing a small notebook with you for your practice rounds to make notes. Again, old school method. I did it when I was a junior and I survived. And then one of the other things we do like to harp on is that first tee does not facilitate the introductions with your Champions Tour player. So during the pairings party, your Champions Tour player may be there. He may not be. He may come up and introduce himself to you. He may not. We provide the Champions Tour with your information, and the Champions Tour provides it to that Champions Tour player. It is then at his discretion to make any introductions to you prior to the tournament round. So again, you may be introduced to your Champions Tour player prior to that first tournament round. You may not. But first tee will not be facilitating any introductions. Attire. This is a big part of the week. Don't forget that you are representing first tee. This event is broadcast on Golf Channel. We need to make sure we're putting our best foot forward. We will send you the items that participants will receive in advance for packing purposes. So we do not have your polo colors picked out yet, but once we do, we will send you what colors you're receiving so you can plan bottoms. I know that that's important to you guys. One of the other things is bottoms. So men, you do have to wear pants during tournament rounds. You do not have to wear them during practice rounds, but pants are required for tournament rounds. Ladies, skirt lengths. Lululemon tennis skirts are not an appropriate length for this tournament. I will say it again. Lululemon tennis skirts are not an appropriate length for this tournament. If you need me to send you some examples of what would be an appropriate length skirt for this event, please let me know. But again, please make sure that we're putting our best foot forward. Leggings are not an appropriate warm weather gear. It is going to be cold that week, so I would recommend bringing your rain gear for warmth. Ladies, you can wear pants. I would make sure you have enough pullovers, jackets, things like that. And then hats. This is a very important part of the week. You are only allowed to wear official tournament logoed headwear for the tournament. So each participant will receive a hat or a visor, and we just need to make sure we're wearing tournament logoed headgear for the week. If you guys have any other questions on attire, please just let me know. I know with packing, especially that time of year, it could be in the 60s. It could even be in the 50s that week. We are right next to the ocean, so it does get pretty chilly. I'm a wimp, so I bring very warm weather clothes, like a puffy jacket. If you see me walking around in a puffy jacket, you know, that is what it is. I'm a wimp. I'm from Florida. So then we're going to move into the tournament admission and task deadlines that you guys received again in your acceptance packet. So please make sure you book and submit all travel by July 19th, and please send those to me so we can track your arrival times. If you have any questions on travel, please feel free to email those to us or ask them in the chat right now. The online registration on SurveyMonkey, that's the same place where you guys applied. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you log back into SurveyMonkey, complete that registration form, and sign off on the protocols by the COVID protocols, by July 19th. If you don't, I will be emailing you to remind you. So please just make sure you do that, and then you won't need that reminder. At this time, COVID testing and proof of vaccination are not required. However, this is subject to change based on local guidelines or necessity. So right now, we will not be requiring anyone to get a COVID test to come on site or show proof of vaccination. But again, this could change based on local guidelines or necessity, or if there's a COVID spike in the area. It's kind of ever changing. So we'll update you if necessary. And then last on the regularly scheduled programming is the agenda for the week. So you have your acceptance packet. I would pull that up. We're just going to go over a few things for the week as far as the schedule of events. Take a sip of water really quick. Okay. So starting out on Tuesday, September 20th, there will be player registration in the Century Room. That's part of the conference center. And that is from, that'll be in the morning until the late afternoon. You can come and register. You'll receive your credentials, your parking pass, all of your apparel, and anything you'll need for the week from Brandon and I. We will be at registration. And then that's what's happening on Tuesday. Then we go into participant chaperone orientation at 5 p.m. on the 18th green lawn at Pebble Beach. So this is mandatory for participants and the chaperone to attend. Participants will go through registration with me, and the chaperones will go through registration with Brandon. So that is mandatory. You do need to be there for that. Following orientation, we'll go right into the pairings party and concert. So that doors will open for that at 5:45 p.m. And the program starts at about 6:30, and that's right behind the 18th green of Pebble Beach. It's kind of like a strolling dinner. So dinner will be provided that night. We'll reveal the pairings and then have a concert, and then all participants are invited and they're one chaperone. So that is one of the events that the chaperone is allowed to attend outside of golf. On Wednesday, we will again have registration open just in the morning. And then this is when official practice rounds for juniors will start. We do not have the actual practice round time window yet. We will let you guys know when we do, but practice rounds will start on Wednesday at Pebble Beach and Spyglass. On Wednesday night is the Legends and Leaders viewing party. Seating will be at 8 p.m. and then we'll begin viewing on the wharf at the 18th green. So most events outside of golf will take place right by the 18th green at Pebble Beach, so it's very easy to locate every night. But the Legends and Leaders viewing party will start around 8 p.m. on the wharf at the 18th green of Pebble Beach. Dinner will be provided just for the participant that night. This event is for participants only. So parents, you will be able to drop off your participant and then come back and get them. We'll give you guys an estimated time later on when you can pick them up. But dinner will be provided to the junior that night, pizza, and then some theater snacks. It's a really fun night. Moving into Thursday, this is the second round of practice rounds at Pebble Beach and Spyglass. So if you played a practice round at Pebble Beach on Wednesday, you'll play your practice round at Spyglass on Thursday and vice versa. And then that night is an invitational event called the Chevron Challenge, where 6 junior players and 6 professionals will compete at the Hay for charitable proceeds. More information will be sent out on that later if you are selected to play in that. And that starts at 4 p.m. Friday, September 23rd is the first round of the tournament at Pebble Beach and Spyglass. Again, pairings will be assigned by tournament staff and we will send those out to you. And then there is no dinner function that night, so dinner will be on your own. On Saturday following play, there will be the cut to the low 12 boys and low 12 girls. That cut will be decided, ties will be broken, and then those will get sent out to everyone. There is no dinner function that night again, so dinner is on your own on Saturday. On Sunday is the final round of the tournament at Pebble Beach. The low 50 pros and ties, again, low 24 pro junior teams, 12 male, 12 female, and then the low 10 amateur teams will be playing the final round. This is something else that we do like to harp on because we do get a lot of questions about this. On Sunday, if you miss the cut, there is a mandatory outing for you at the Hay, which is the par 3 course, on Sunday morning. There are no ifs, ands, or buts. It is mandatory. I know that you want to go watch your friends play the final round. It is in the morning. You'll be done mid-morning, and then you can go watch the final round and then be on the 18th green for the award ceremony. But the junior outing on Sunday, again, is mandatory. And then at 3 p.m., that's the scheduled time, is 3 p.m. for the award ceremony on the 18th green will be the award ceremony, and everybody does need to be there. And that is it for the schedule. Brandon, if you had anything you wanted to add as far as information, if not, we can kind of open it up to any questions.
Hey, Nicolette, yes, thank you so much for going through that. Very thorough, and again, appreciate everyone with your questions. We're going to go ahead and jump into answering some of those. Nicolette, feel free to jump in if you see one as I go through. I'm trying to pull up the list one more time. Sorry, bear with me 1 second here. Where's the chat? Okay, here we go. All right, so the first question that we had received on the chat was that Nicolette responded to some of the first ones that came through, but can family and friends walk outside the ropes for practice rounds as well? Yes, and I got confirmation from the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Steve John, who you will all get a chance to meet, and by all means is one of the greatest friends, first tee ambassadors that we have. Steve is the CEO of the Monterey Peninsula Foundation. So yes, we will allow family and friends to walk outside the ropes for the practice rounds. That being said, there will be there'll be some information later on regarding some shuttles that get out to Spyglass. We don't want to hold back teams from getting out for their designated practice rounds. So if one of those shuttles, or if you see that there's a team trying to make it to their tee time, let them go and get to Spyglass a little bit later. But yes, you can have family and friends walk outside of the ropes for practice rounds. There's a question, Mary, regarding if you're flying out Monday morning, do folks typically drive out of Monterey on Sunday night? That's really a preference, depending on what time your flight is Monday morning, just know that whatever time your travel is, it's going to take 2 to 2.5 hours if there's no traffic to get back to that San Jose, San Fran area. And then you're going to want to be there, at least 2 hours before the flight. So you can absolutely opt to drive up on Sunday evening after all the activities have ended for your flight on Monday, but that will be up to you. A question came in, can another parent stay in the same hotel room with the chaperone and the parent? Yes, that is absolutely fine. That's not a problem. The rooms are set to be double beds. And we did that, so that, so in that case, either it's another parent or guardian or, younger sibling too. So that will be fine. Nicolette, did you want to take the question about shorts for the practice round?
Yes, so shorts are approved for practice rounds. Again, I would check the weather. It is very chilly, especially at Pebble Beach right next to the water, but shorts are approved for the practice rounds. You might want to bring pants just in case, just depending on your sensitivity to the cold. But shorts are fine. Tournament rounds, gentlemen do have to wear pants. Another question about attire. Will a form be sent for juniors for shirt sizes? The shirt sizes were part of the application process. So we do have all your shirt sizes. If you would like to confirm what you selected, you can shoot me an email and I'll let you know. If you want to make an update on that, that would need to be done this week.
Perfect. Then there's a couple questions regarding flights getting in on Tuesday. So we suggest that you are in California by 12 noon at the latest, so that by the time you get out to Pebble Beach, realistically, you're there by 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon to register and get settled in before the evening's sort of activities. So that being said, there was someone who also asked about landing in San Francisco at 9:30 on Tuesday. That's not a problem. You'll be there earlier, and we'll have some options for you there as well. So just wanted to make that comment. And then there was a question, so similar to what Nicolette just addressed with the shirt sizes, because we did take all the sizing from the applications that you all filled out. So I'm hopeful that we don't have many changes there. But we also have all of your food allergies that you had listed on the application. So if you're concerned, if you're concerned about us not having something, please reach out to Nicolette, as soon as possible, so that we can ensure that what you have on the application is what we have. But I will tell you that we took all of the food allergies directly from your application. So if it was listed on there, we have it. If you didn't list it, then please get with Nicolette as soon as possible to update.
Yes. There was another question from about receiving information on the pro before registration. The pairings party is when juniors will find out what professional they're paired with. They will not find out before that. So that kind of gets announced. Juniors all walk across the front of the stage once they're introduced, and then they do kind of like a big unveiling all at the same time. So you won't find out what tour player you are playing with until the pairings party.
Did you want to, Nicolette, there's questions regarding Tuesday practice round?
So Tuesday practice round, juniors may have the option to play at the Hay. Monterey Peninsula Foundation staff, if you'd like to jump in on that. That's there's going to be no official practice run for juniors that day, but there will be, the practice facilities will be open to you afternoon, I believe, and then juniors will have the option to play the par 3 course, the Hay. Perfect.
Chris, hole-in-one wins a car, right? That would be very nice. Appreciate that. There's another question just regarding flights. Is it okay to fly out at 10:30 p.m. Sunday night? maybe a little close. The reason why I say that is because you know, no one will be able to leave the sort of closing event and ceremony before that's ended. So by the time you're trying to get back into San Francisco area with traffic and being at the airport, San Jose, San Fran, with plenty of time to get checked in, 10:30 actually may be cutting it very close. So all I will say is that ultimately that's your decision. But please note that everyone will have to stay for the Sunday closing event until that is final and cameras are off and we've announced and celebrated our winners. So when will we get confirmation on our hotel reservation? So again, the hotel is the responsibility of you all to book. So again, that's in the acceptance packet. There's a link to do that. You should get confirmation. My assumption would be pretty much right after you book your hotel. If you feel like if you know you've already booked and haven't received that confirmation, I would reach out directly to the hotel. There's a question regarding, oh yeah, I'll let you take that one, Nicolette.
Yeah, for bottoms, are joggers okay, or do we need only regular pants? I defer that question again to the Monterey Peninsula Foundation. We can provide some clarity on that, but
okay,
that'll be at the tournament's discretion.
Perfect. And then Nicolette, just to follow up, our friends at MPF also confirmed that the hay will be available to practice and utilize all day on Tuesday. So just updating everyone on that. The brand of outerwear, or I'm sorry, for the polos that you'll be receiving right now, looks like it'll be Under Armour. That's not confirmed, but we will confirm once we have that set here at HQ. So yes, family members, spectators are free, right? So your family members, friends coming to the tournament are free, so that shouldn't be an issue.
Attire for non-golf events. Golf attire is fine. For the for the pairings party and legend and leaders, golf attire is fine. We are going to be outdoors. And I say this specifically for the ladies, we are outdoors, so please dress warm enough. But golf attire should be fine. No jeans. Brandon, do you want to provide, we can provide some more clarity on that one, but
yeah, we'll send a final email before everyone, you know, a week or two before we will see you out at Pebble. So that'll sort of have any final pieces about attire, including the brand, and we typically like to send a photo of what the polos will look like, as well as the long sleeve item. So we'll have more information as we get a little bit closer. There's a question regarding extended stay. Honestly, that's something that you'll have to research. You know, you can contact the Marriott to see if they have additional rooms for if you guys are staying longer, but we will leave that up to you to do that. Regarding shirts, we are gonna be providing 3 golf polo shirts, and then we'll have 1 sort of outerwear piece as well. And again, as we get closer, we'll send images of what that looks like.
There was, oh, I'm sorry, you answered that. Is it proper to accept an invitation from the pro, even if it means missing practice round on 1 course? That's kind of entirely up to the junior. It did happen last year. Again, that's kind of, if the junior is okay missing the practice round on the opposite course, then, I mean, that's fine on our end. Another question about practice rounds. It says Tuesday, it says practice rounds at Spyglass in the packet. Is that true? Those practice rounds are for the amateurs and professionals. The scheduled practice rounds for juniors will be on Wednesday and Thursday only.
Right. Tuesday, you will have access to the hay all day to utilize for practice though as well. So, and that's a phenomenal facility. How long does the closing event typically last? That's tough to say. It really depends on sort of play. I mean, I would say that we typically start that around 3 o'clock, and realistically, it's going to last. I'd say plan to be there for an hour and a half or so, 2 hours. So that's why flights leaving at 10 o'clock, as I mentioned, probably not realistic for flying out that evening. Again, I know there's some questions coming in about. I see you recommended synagogues for Sunday night service or Monday morning. Honestly, I would just sort of Google search, but we're going to leave that up to the individuals flying out there. Is it mandatory to stay in the hotel listed? No, it is not. We have a discounted rate. Rates in Monterey are pretty difficult to come by. So I think we got a very competitive rate, but it's not mandatory. So
I would also look into, if you have a lot of family coming, don't forget Airbnbs are an option in the area.
Yeah. And then just note, for if you're interested in how much the stipends are, please refer to the acceptance packet. We have one that's set for anyone coming in through an airline, and we also have one for individuals that are traveling. So again, just take a look at that.
The Monterey Peninsula Foundation confirmed that joggers are okay. All pants allowed.
Okay. Polos will not be long sleeve. They will be short sleeve, but we will have an outerwear piece that can be worn as well during play.
So if you want to bring sleeves for warmth, I would bring those.
Okay, let's see here. Do jackets or outerwear need to be logo free? So Nicolette, I'll turn that one to you.
I would say if it can be First Tee branded, that would be preferable, especially considering this is broadcast on Golf Channel. Just be mindful of your logos. Yep. Is what I would say.
Yeah, and then again, any like tournament apparel is fine as well too, and I believe we'll follow up, but I believe that they also provide a discount for any tournament gear that's purchased on site as well. So then, as far as parents, during the juniors only, that you guys are more than welcome to sort of hang out on property. It's such a beautiful property, but if you do decide to step away, we will make sure that you're aware at what time you have to be back to pick up your juniors from that activity. Yes, I would bring your own rain gear. Ben, we can maybe talk offline. As notice that there's something about your reservations. So we'll need to follow up because we'll connect with the hotel, but let's talk offline on that. Nicolette will be able to confirm that.
Do you wear issued clothes to the practice rounds? No. The apparel you receive is going to be for the tournament rounds. You're only getting 3 polos, and there are 3 tournament rounds. So you'll wear those. The polo color you wear per day will get assigned, so everybody will be wearing the same polo each day. That will be sent to you guys prior to the tournament. But for practice rounds, I would wear First Tee logo polos if you have them.
Okay, great question. Probably my favorite question that I've seen come up. So do you have any advice for First Tee players and how to make the most of their interactions and time with the pros? What not to do, what to do. This will be a new experience for many. So that is a great question. My recommendations are, A, just be yourself. I think the The pros are really, you know, to be just very realistic with you, there's going to be some pros that go above and beyond. You do need to be aware that they are there to compete, right? There's money on the line there. It is a tournament. So, but many of the pros are really fantastic. So just be yourself. Talk to them about things, you know, off the golf course too. But, you know, it's a great time to get some tips and pointers and get into their mindset of, you know, how are they approaching maybe some of the shots or certain situations. I would say that it is just as important, if not even more important, to get to know the amateurs that you're playing with in your practice rounds, in tournament rounds, because they are incredible. They all absolutely 100% buy in to what this tournament is all about. And really, it's about you all, right? We're showcasing our first tee participants, our great first tee participants across the country. So if you do not connect with your amateur, in my mind, that would probably be the biggest mistake that you'll make on site. So please talk with them, ask questions, you know, connect with them after the round. But that is, those are a lot of those individuals playing are leaders in their industry and are decision makers. So who knows, in a couple of years, you know, you may be applying for an internship at their company, and the fact that you know someone, you know, may go a long way. So just again, the amateurs is such a key component to this, and so that would be my advice to anyone coming, you know, to Pebble. Nicolette, anything else that you wanted to add?
No, I mean, what you said was spot on. You know, just this is a really great networking opportunity, so make the most of it.
Fantastic. And listen, another thing, I am not the golfer of the group. You will all get to know that when on site. Nicolette is my go-to, but you're playing Pebble Beach, right? If you have a bad shot, you have a bad round. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Brush it off. You'll have a better day, a better, you know, hole on the next, on your next outing. So just enjoy the moment, enjoy being there, and cherish it, because it's not many people get to do this. So, question regarding possible weather delays. I mean, we're hopeful, right, that we have beautiful weather and it'll be great. There's always a possibility of weather being an issue, but the team at MPF is well equipped to make sure that we're well taken care of in any circumstance there.
Yeah, Monterey Peninsula Foundation staff, if you guys wouldn't mind just confirming that if the tournament would finish on Monday, if it's delayed that much. I'm not sure of that question.
As far as the yes, question regarding the extended family again. If there's rooms that are outside of the block for, you know, for those purposes, then you can call and make those arrangements, and that's fine. But anyone using the hotel block, it's only for the one participant and chaperone, one room per sort of selected family, right? No, for the hay, it's going to be open. It'll be open time. So you don't need to necessarily schedule a practice time on Tuesday at the hay. Question about colors for bottoms. That's why we will send you the colors, the tops that you'll receive, so that you can coordinate with the bottoms, so that we don't have crazy color combination clashing on the golf course. But we are not providing bottoms, right? We're only providing the polos and the outerwear.
And we won't restrict you to the color bottoms. I would just match the color shirt that you're going to be receiving. Questions about push carts, that is answered in the acceptance packet, but no, push carts are not allowed at either golf course. So juniors, I would recommend starting to carry your bag this summer and get used to carrying your bag. Are golf hoodies allowed? Again, I'll refer that to the MPF staff, and we can provide some clarity on that one.
Okay. let's see here. Sorry, I'm just making sure that we will. Yes, the Zoom call is being recorded and will absolutely be available to review. And again, I'll reiterate it one more time. Everything that we're going through, everything that we covered today is in the acceptance packet. So I would just make sure that you review that. If you have multiple kids playing, will they be together for the practice rounds? There's no guarantee on that. So did want to address that question.
If willing, are the pros and amateur allowed to give advice during the tournament round? So the Champions Tour player is the juniors floorball partner. So under the rules, yes. We will have to provide some clarity on the amateur since they're not technically on the same team, but the tour pro, yes. Will the Zoom call be available for review if we need to review it? Yes, this will be recorded. This is being recorded, and we'll send it out to you guys later this week.
Because the junior is not allowed to use a rating finder, is there a way to purchase a yardage book? Also, which tees will they play from? So also talking with Steve a little bit today, we will have yardage books for the juniors, so they're confident with that, which is great. And then Nicolette, did you want to address that question regarding tees?
Yeah, so the tees, at Pebble Beach, the gentlemen will be playing just under 6,400 yards, and the ladies will be playing just under 5,300 yards. At Spyglass, gentlemen will be playing just under 6,600 yards, and the ladies will be playing just under 5,300 yards.
Question again regarding the 3 polo shirts. Those have not been decided. As you all are probably aware, supply chain is still a very real issue. So we're still trying to figure out what those will be, but we will make sure that everyone receives an update once we have that confirmed.
Someone asked how, I'm sorry, I just want to get the question about how scoring works with 3 concurrent competitions. So for the sake of the junior is playing a best ball tournament with the Champions Tour players. So that's best ball is the same as 4-ball. So if Brandon and I are partners, if I make a 4 on a hole and he makes a 5, we're going to count my 4. The junior is not playing with the amateurs, so the amateur scores do not come into effect for the junior at all. And then the Champions Tour player is playing an individual stroke play event at the same time. But for the sake of the junior is only concerned with their score and the pros score, and you take the lowest score for each hole.
Thank you. And then there was a question regarding golf bags. So in years past, TaylorMade has been such a great partner for this particular event and to First Tee as well. So we are in conversations with them. It's not a guaranteed every year that's set. So once we have more information, we'll provide that with some of the updates that we'll have for you regarding the apparel confirmation. And like I said, this won't be the last time that you hear from us by any means leading up to the tournament. This is just more a general sense to make sure everyone's comfortable with the travel and some of the bigger questions that you may have are answered. So more to come on that as well. Yes,
golf hoodies are allowed.
Yes, golf hoodies are allowed. Yes, got that answered from MPF. Thank you so much. Is it okay to fly into an airport not listed in the acceptance packet? Again, that's totally up to you. I would say most people fly into San Jose, but San Fran and Monterey has a smaller airport. But depending on your travel arrangements, that's totally up to you. We just you have to be ready for orientation on that Tuesday evening at Pebble Beach.
Someone asked if there are yardage markers on the fairways of the course. I would assume, I do not remember from last year whether they are plates on the ground or if they are like, the 150 pole, the 100-yard pole. We can get that answer to you, but again, there will be some way to tell what yardage you're playing when you're on the golf course. And then we have an
Nicolette, did you?
answer
Oh,
on handicaps. Will the junior score be based on their handicap? No, we will not be using handicaps this year. So you're all very talented, and based on the average handicap, you guys don't need them. But we get pin positions to help get the yardage. I believe a whole location sheet is provided, but Monterey Peninsula Foundation, if you can just confirm that, I would assume so.
so I also want to make mention here. I know we're starting to wrap up here with time. We have 5 minutes left. One of the other pieces that we'll have on site too is we will have an app that we use for this for pretty much, group messaging, right? That's really what it is, but it'll have the schedule for the event. So Nicolette, correct me if I'm wrong, is there any information in the acceptance packet about that, or is that something that we'll follow up with them as we get a little bit closer to September?
There is not. We use an app that's through Cvent, and that we'll be able to send you guys pairings. We'll have information on all the evening functions and times and locations in that app. We'll send more information about that closer to the event, but you'll get an email from Cvent to go ahead and register for that, and then you'll have access to it on your phone, and then that's kind of how we'll communicate with you guys while we're on site.
Got it. And then Nicolette, I received a note from Steve that whole location sheets will be provided.
Yeah. Perfect. Will spectators with federal handicap placards be allowed to ride in carts? There are no actual golf carts allowed on the golf course. There may be scooters that can be rented. We'll get that information and send that out to you, but there are no actual carts out on the golf course. And then the final cut is based on the best ball score with your pro. Yes, so juniors will make the cut based on their best ball score with their pro. The boys and girls playing separately as far as the cut line is concerned. So the junior pro team could make the cut and the pro could not make the cut. But again, the way that the pro plays in their individual tournament does not determine whether the junior pro team makes the cut or not. I know there's a lot going on. It's a little confusing, but the junior score with the pro is what decides if they make the cut or not. I think that's all the questions we have right now.
Yeah, I think we got through everything. But we are going to stay on here for another minute or two to answer any questions that may come up. With us wrapping up again, we're so thankful for your time today. This is an absolutely incredible opportunity for you all. We're excited to meet you. I know our friends at MPF are excited to meet you all, the pros, the amateurs. This tournament is about you. And I say you, the juniors, parents and chaperones, we're there to be their cheerleaders, and that's about it. But this is really about the teens and their experience. So we're really looking forward to having everyone out there, and just know that you are representing not only yourself and your family, but your chapter. And like I said, we'll have representation from First Tee headquarters. Several chapter representatives try to make it out there as well. So just note that conduct yourself in the way that we sort of expect you to. Based on your applications, you all not only are great golfers, but incredible, individuals, and we look forward to meeting you and getting to know you all pretty well at Pebble. It looks like there was a couple questions that came in right at the end. If there are any changes with sizes, that needs to go to Nicolette, and it needs to get to her very soon, because again, with the supply chain issues, orders will be made here very shortly. So please, if any changes regarding sizing need to be made, please send that to Nicolette.
Email again about the reservations. We don't have a contact for Passkey. That's just kind of the booking link. It all goes through the Marriott. I would check your spam or junk folder. I would check that first, and then we can why don't you email me and we can talk about it and I can help you get in contact with the correct person. I do want to thank the Monterey Peninsula Foundation staff for being here. I know they're very excited to welcome you all back to Pebble Beach here in September. And again, if you have any additional questions, please feel free to email me. My email is nicolettescalf@firsttee.org.
Great. And yes, again, thank you so much, MPF. We look forward to seeing you all out there. And, you know, this doesn't happen without you. So we just appreciate everyone's, you know, the hours that are put in on your teams on behalf of our First Tee team. So thank you so much. And yes, everyone, enjoy the rest of your week. We look forward to seeing everyone out there at Pebble Beach, and we will be in touch in the coming weeks leading up to the tournament. So with that, we're going to end the call. Thank you all, and have a great evening.
Make sure you email me your stuff by July 19th.
Yes, deadline. Meet that deadline, please. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.